This one's a couple months old. It's a couple months old. Yeah, it's a couple months old, but I do think it'll be fun. This is her video about her experience living in LA. I started watching it and I got like a couple minutes into it, and then I stopped because I was like, you know what? I should watch this on stream. I like this is one that I think I should watch on stream. Because it was good. And so let's say, yeah, this is her experience moving from Arizona to LA, to California. California, LA. So, did you? Okay. I have not. I only saw the first couple minutes before I stopped and said, okay, I should watch this on stream. So, let's take a look.
9 years ago, James and I talked about what it was like living in our home state, Arizona. I honestly don't remember most of what we said in that video. I tried to rewatch it as a refresher and maybe a little trip down memory lane, but turns out after 5 seconds I'd rather be guillotined. No, eyes on me. You clicked on this video, you're staying on this video. No funny ideas, alright? The other day I was in a store trying to buy a plain black shirt that was locked up behind those stupid box lockers, so I had to ring an employee for a single shirt. A few minutes later, someone came by. Alright, what can I... Oh my gosh. Are you JaidenAnimations? Yeah. No way. I love your videos. Can I get a photo? Yeah. Thanks so much. I didn't expect to see you here. Are you visiting? Oh, no, I live here. You're not in Arizona anymore? And that's when it dawned on me, there is a giant portion of my audience who will not get updated on some parts of my life if I don't explicitly say it in one of my animations. Also, the guy left without unlocking the box, so I had to wait another 5 minutes for him to come back and get the shirt. So yeah, to anyone who didn't get the memo, I've been in California for the past 6.5 years, specifically Los Angeles. I honestly can't believe it's been that long already, because that means for the past 6.5 years, I've been doing nothing but complaining about it the entire time. I believe in the compliment sandwich system though. Not everything about moving to California has been bad. For example, the weather is great. It's always sunny, which, you know, Arizona is too, but like, in a bad way. California doesn't hit the casual 118 everything outside melts and dies degrees like back home. It's vacation weather all the time.
Yeah, I've been in Arizona. It get fucking hot. Arizona do get fucking hot. Between Arizona weather and California weather, or at least LA, California weather, yeah. I will take California's summer weather over Arizona's. Absolutely. That is one thing I can... Oh, gee, baby, do not give me that bullshit. It's a dry heat. Fuck you. Fuck you with the dry heat shit. Yeah, it's just... That is one thing you can say as a positive in regards to California, specifically LA, is that the weather is much more pleasant than Arizona. And again, it is LA. Like, I've been to LA and I have been to Palm Springs. Sorry, Palm Desert. Palm Desert fucking sucks for weather. Palm Desert is fucking hot. I don't know why anyone would want to live in Palm Desert. That is just like... When I went there I went there on vacation a few years ago to visit my family, not this past one, but a previous one, and oh dear God, I thought I was gonna die. It is so fucking hot. There, yeah, not Palm Springs, Palm Desert. And like then, like the last time I went to California, my family had shifted to LA, and much better weather, by far, so much better weather, like temperature wise in LA versus Palm Desert. So I definitely gotta give it. I definitely have to give her that. Yes.
I like that part. The drivers here are assholes. Arizona isn't all sunshine and rainbows in the driving department either. When I was learning to drive as a teenager, my mom told me to never honk at people no matter what because there's a chance they'll just shoot me. But because of the sheer volume of people on California roads all the time, it is a completely different beast. And every single one of them is driving to go kick babies because they hate their fellow man. Compassion does not exist on the California freeway. And by that, I mean blinkers. You know, the very helpful and necessary communication tool that tells people you'd kindly like to move into the lane.
Okay. This is not just the California thing. I'm gonna fucking say this. The lack of blinker usage is not limited to fucking California. I have seen it everywhere in the States and fucking Canada. That is one of the banes of my fucking existence as a driver, both in the States and in Canada. Like, no one fucking uses them. Like, I'll be driving, but I'll be like, you have to be even more of a defensive driver because you have no idea if someone's about to turn out of fucking nowhere. Like, it is way too fucking common for me to be driving and then to be driving behind someone and then literally out of nowhere, they flip their blinker 0.25 seconds before they suddenly jam on the brakes and yank their wheel and turn. Like, oh god, this is, oh, fuck me. I fucking hate, no, Razin, when I drive, I will initiate my blinker approximately like 300 to 500 feet before my turn, if I am able to. See, I'm a good driver. I let people know in as much advance as I can that I am going to be turning. So approximately 300 to 500 feet from my turn, I will initiate the blinker. Because I don't want to suddenly slam on the brakes and then flip the blinker and have someone just go, oh shit, I didn't know you were going to turn. Not that people pay attention to anything these days because they're too busy on their fucking phones. But that's a whole different thing. Yes, I'm also a good girl, Draco. I'm a very good girl.
It's a sign of weakness here. If you even think about turning your blinker on, every single car in your vicinity will speed up and refuse to let you merge because they cannot handle the idea of a different car being in front of them. How can they get to their destination faster if a car that was in front of them in a different lane suddenly shifts to the side 12 feet? People will go out of their way to merge into the lane just to speed past you and spit on your windshield. When I turn my blinker on, which I still do because I refuse to let this barbaric driving culture corrupt me, a car will speed up and then merge in front of me. If you need to be in my lane and I need to be in yours, we literally have to stay at our same speeds and shift. It's simple. There's no point in you blocking my merge just to merge into my lane anyway. Oh my god, it pisses me off.
Oh, yeah. Why? Because of simple rule number 2. Remember, chat, what is rule 1 of life? What is rule 1 of life? Do you remember? Because this does kind of apply here. Rule 1, people are stupid. That's rule 1. Rule 1, people are stupid. What's rule 2? What is rule 2? Rule 2, people are assholes. Rule 1, people are stupid. Rule 2, people are assholes. Heed these rules, take them into your heart, and live by them. One day, they may save your life.
so much. They do it all the time. If I had no money and got $1 every single time someone took advantage of my blinker, I'd have enough money to move out of this godforsaken state. One time I turned my blinker on, checked my blind spot, and in the amount of time it took for me to look back at the road and start merging, a car way behind me had sped up so fast that my car's auto detection had to cut my merge off so I wouldn't hit them. And then that car honked at me! I will kill us both. Alright, the drivers suck, but at least I'm only going a few miles. Not.
Yes. This right here. Chat, this blew my fucking mind. When I went to go visit in California, and it was like, oh, we're only going 30 miles. And to go somewhere, it was like, oh, we're gonna have to go 30 miles. Okay, so we can probably, leave about, a half hour before we need to be there. No, we had to leave like 2 fucking hours before we had to be somewhere to drive, like, I think maybe 20 miles, 30 miles, something like that. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because chat, where I am, to drive 30 miles, or the Canadian equivalent in kilometers, would take me like, okay, say it's like 20 miles. 20 miles, or 20 kilometers in Canada, would literally take me like 10 minutes at best. At best, it would take me 10 minutes to drive 20 kilometers. Yeah, if I'm in a hurry and I put my foot down, yeah, I can maybe do it in 5. Like, chat, I've done 45 kilometers before. Okay, back when I was living in Newfoundland, my drive to work was like 45 kilometer distance. Okay, I was 45 kilometers from my job. Back when I was living in Newfoundland, because I was living in a rural part of it, and so every fucking thing is 45 kilometers from where I lived. And one morning, I woke up late, and I was opening the business, and I realized when I woke up, I had 45 minutes to get to work from the moment that I woke up. And bearing in mind, if I drive at a modest speed, it would take me about 45 minutes to get to work. And so I had to rush through an emergency shower, throw on my clothes, jump in the car, and fucking booked it. I had to literally pedal to the metal. I made it 45 kilometers in 20 minutes. What would have normally been a 45-minute drive, I did it in 20. Okay? Yeah, that was a moment of I am fucking speed. But even just not even having to drive that fast, 10 miles would take me 5 minutes. Here in Canada, where I live in Canada, it would take me 5 minutes. This, the amount of time to go such a short distance is mind-boggling to me. Then it would take an hour, to go 10 miles. That just blew my fucking mind. I could not conceive of it.
Not only am I forced to drive alongside these bozos, I'm forced to drive alongside them for way longer than I should need to. The traffic is so genuinely bad, I daydream of becoming a better sprinter to arrive at places quicker because it is genuinely not far from the realm of realism. Either that or get one of those monster snowplow attachments. I mean, seriously, 10 miles?
Yeah.
I should not be in the car longer than 20 minutes. Everyone here loves driving 30 over the speed limit anyway. I don't even know what the holdup is. Also, a little tip. If you wanted to find a place to park when you get to your destination, you shouldn't even be driving in the first place. Parking doesn't exist here, it's a myth and a lie. 95% of all locations have 0 parking lots. There's never street parking, and if you happen to be a lucky enough soul to find a spot, you can't slow down to parallel park into it because people are either gonna yell at you for clogging the lane or ram into your bumper. it's just an evil
Yeah.
trick. So your only choice is to find a parking garage that costs like $20. One time, my friends and I drove
It's
to
a
a
scam.
one-piece live symphony at the Dolby Theater.
Okay. Parking in LA is a scam. Parking in any major city is a scam. They deliberately make it so there's not adequate parking, and you have to go to a paid parking lot that grossly overcharges it because the parking lot is paying taxes to the city, and so the city is deliberately doing this so the parking lots are in higher demand. They can build more of them, therefore the city can get more taxes from them, and you have to put more money into them. And you're picking up what I'm putting down here, chat. Parking in major cities is a fucking scam.
And decided to park in its parking garage. Oh, what an obvious mistake. Do you want to know how long it took us to get out of that garage after the show when everyone was leaving? 2.5 hours! We parked in the designated parking garage for a show and paid 2.5 hours of our life on top of real life money. So what if you don't have a car? Then you don't have to deal with any of this, right? Well, you can't.
And how are you gonna get anywhere?
What do you think this is? Any other country? You could get a bike or a motorcycle, but again, with the quality of drivers around, you might as well play Russian roulette every time the wheels touch asphalt. Maybe with the right setup and some expendable funds, you could just get around with rideshare apps. But man, getting an Uber is so expensive out here. It might as well.
Honestly, I don't trust Uber anyway. Uber, for all what they tout, is not regulated like legit taxis. Uber has moved on from ride sharing to they're trying to replace taxis, but there isn't the amount of regulation that taxis have. They've just sort of evolved Uber to now basically be a taxi service without the regulation. And I do not trust it at all. Because to be a taxi driver, you need to actually get a specific license to be a taxi driver. When you are an Uber driver, you don't need that, and literally anyone can do it. Oh, you just sign up on an app and boom, you're now an Uber driver. There's no any extra licensing or special regulations to govern it. Literally anybody can do it, and I don't trust people. Therefore, I do not trust Lyft, I do not trust Uber, I do not trust rideshare, none of it. I trust none of it.
Well be considered a luxury in itself. If you're taking an Uber either to or from the LAX airport, I guarantee it'll cost at least $100. And the drivers don't get any of that, by the way. Once I had a driver complain to me about the ride rates the whole trip, which was not asked for to begin with. He said he had a client once trying to go to LAX and they were being charged $100, like I said, but the driver was only gonna get $30 from the trip. So he offered to charge $80 cash for them to do it outside the app as a win-win. Don't ever take this type of offer, kids. That was incredibly dangerous. But that's just where the landscape of Uber is here. Also, fun little tip. Never tell any drivers the place you're going to or from is your actual home. This is for everywhere, not just California. Sure, if they ask, it's normally small talk.
Yeah. That's, again, why I do not trust these Uber drivers. Because if they find out, if they're taking you to your home and they know you're at home, they're completely unlicensed, completely unregulated, and now they know where you live. And there's they're not part of a company, so there's no background checks, no nothing. And you may have just told a criminal where you live. Fuck that shit. Look at what happened to Fillion. Remember what happened to Fillion? I think it was for her. It wasn't a Lyft. I don't know if it was Lyft or Uber with her, or if it was DoorDash. But remember, there was that it was the Uber driver or the DoorDash driver who, after taking, after she had called for that, they started stalking her. They would literally They were literally sitting outside her home, stalking her. And she eventually, eventually the cops got, was it, I couldn't remember if it was Uber or DoorDash. Yeah, it's a DoorDash. Yeah, this why DoorDash can be scary. It is, Fillion got DoorDash, and that DoorDash driver then proceeded to stalk her. Would sit outside of her home in his car and stalked her until I think the police got, excuse me, I think the police got called on him. The police came and, basically just chased him away or something. Yeah, all of this shit, like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Uber Eats, all of it, it's completely unregulated. There's like no regulation whatsoever, so they can just anybody can do it. Look at the dumb bitch that just recently got arrested, who illegally entered a DoorDash. Remember that DoorDash driver that illegally entered a man's home, videotaped him asleep on his own couch with his pants down around his ankles or something, and then posted it online. And then she went on TikTok, screaming, going, "Woe is me," claiming she got sexually assaulted. Oh yeah, then okay, side tangent time, buckle up. Within the last week, there was an incident where a DoorDash driver, I think it was Uber Eats. Sorry, I said DoorDash to Uber Eats. An Uber Eats driver went to deliver an order to a house. Now, bearing in mind, this Uber Eats order had the specific instructions of leave the food at the door. i.e., walk up to the door, put the food down, turn around, walk the fuck away. Those were the instructions for this Uber driver. Instead, she walks up, opens the front door. Okay, DoorDash, Uber Eats, whoever, don't fucking matter. It's the same type of service. It doesn't matter what the service was. This bitch goes up, opens the door, although she claims she did not. She claims the door was wide open, which, newsflash.
So that was a fucking lie.
Because the man has a Ring camera that caught her actually physically opening the door and making entry into the house. Goes into the house, sees the man pass out asleep, possibly because he was drunk, don't know, don't care, but passed out asleep on his couch with his pants down around his ankles and his ass hanging out exposed to the world. She takes out her phone, videotapes him, leaves, videotaping herself leaving, going oh my God, and then posts it to TikTok. She then goes online claiming that she was sexually assaulted. And she did say, "I was assaulted." She would change up saying I was sexually assaulted or I was sexually harassed because she videotaped this man with his ass hanging out. And she got that person's DoorDash account canceled. She made a complaint to DoorDash after she made entry into his house, videotaped him, posted on the internet, and left. She got his DoorDash account canceled. And then she went online whining and crying, saying she was assaulted. She claimed she was a victim, and I'm not kidding you, literally said, "I am a victim of sexual assault." She actually used those words. She actually used the words, "I am a victim of SA." Okay? And then, this is also after DoorDash, canceled her account too. They basically fired her. DoorDash basically fired her, and so she got on and made multiple TikToks going, I don't have work anymore. I don't like that. My account has been terminated. I don't have work anymore. I'm a victim. I was SA'd. I am an SA victim. I was harassed. Multiple times she said she was a victim of sexual assault. And then it came out. The homeowner said, "Oh yeah, I've got Ring camera footage, police. Here you go." And the Ring camera footage is showing that she actually opened the door and made unlawful entry into the home. And she's now been arrested and being charged with a felony. Yeah. After going online crying, "I'm the victim of a sexual assault," She's now going to jail. She's been arrested and she's being charged with a felony. And this fucking cunt is the reason why the whole thing of believe all women doesn't work anymore. This is why men stay away from women. Because this bitch, literally for internet clout, accused an innocent man, for internet clout, this cunt accused a complete stranger of sexual assault for internet clout. And that's it. That's literally the only reason why she did this. To get clicks and likes on TikTok. She tried to destroy a man's life for internet clout. And if he had not had that Ring camera, she would have been demonized to hell. He would have been dogpiled. The women's rights groups would have been all over him, calling for him to get burned at the fucking stake. All because this whore wanted some internet clout. She was willing to literally destroy a man's life for internet clout. It's fucking disgusting. I hope to God she goes to prison for a good several years. She needs to go to prison for the exact amount of years that he would have had to go to if he had been convicted of the crime that she accused him of. She accused him of harassment, assault, whatever she accused him of. She needs to go to jail for that number of years. Machinist, I think she will, because this has garnered so much media attention. I think she will spend some time behind bars. I think the judge is going to look at this and go, "Yeah, no, you're going into lockup. You're going to do some prison time for this." Because of how much publicity it's got. Yeah, like she should be charged with it, and she should be charged with sexual harassment too. Absolutely, she should be charged with revenge porn. That's what she needs to be charged with. This cunt needs to be charged with revenge porn. Because that's what she did. She literally posted revenge porn. Charge her with it. Charge her with a sex crime. Charge her with it while we're in fucking prison. Let her sit in there for 5 years. Maybe that'll change. Maybe that'll adjust her attitude. Anyway, sorry, way off topic. The whole Uber thing just sparked a memory that I wanted to talk about. I went way off topic about it, but it's definitely something I needed to talk about. So, sorry about that. And thank you, Grams. Thank you for the gifted.
But when it's not, you're in danger! Yikes! Now that guy won't leave your driveway, and the police say they can't do anything because he hasn't actually committed a crime yet. Just lie and
That's not true. If they're on your property, yeah, you can kick him off. Now, if he's parked on the streets, technically the police may not be able to, but they can record him. They can get all of his information, and the police could, well, okay, criminal trespass. If they're actually in your driveway, that's criminal trespass. That's a criminal matter. Now, whether or not the cops will actually do anything, that's a whole different story. Whole different story. But yeah, if they're parked on the street, well, that's a little different.
say it's a friend's place or something, it's not worth the gamble, and lying to strangers is fun. That was a free survival hint from your friendly neighborhood YouTuber. Put that one in the back of your pockets. Speaking of LAX, because I brought it up earlier, that place is actual hell on earth. If someone gets sent there after death, I would consider it a viable punishment for being a bad person. But innocent people are forced to be subjected to it every single day, and it's inhumane. You have every single asshole with a plane ticket in the entire city and beyond enter through the same stupid entrance, forced to drive through the same loop bumper to bumper until they get to their specific gate. No branching paths, no attempts to categorize the types of arrivals, just a single slaughterhouse line like cattle. But in normal slaughterhouse lines, the cattle don't hate each other. I was talking about bad merging before. It is legitimately survival of the fittest in the LAX horseshoe. Absolutely no one will let you merge lanes ever unless you threaten to fist fight them right there on the concrete. One time I sat with my blinker on in traffic that was not moving for 15 minutes straight, and a dude still refused to let me start merging once cars started inching forward. I had to sit there making direct eye contact with him until he was uncomfortable enough to let me get in front of him. It is personal.
It works.
I am not the same person when I'm in the LAX horseshoe. None of us are. Some dudes in the 1960s decided they wanted everyone that ever planned to visit LA to suffer instantly when they got here. And they simply got away with it. I've spent so much time talking about traffic and the airport, I haven't even talked about living in LA yet. Well, that part sucks too! Everything is so absurdly expensive here, it's almost comedic. Almost. Maybe raise the prices of food like $10 more and I'll start to chuckle. Now a burrito's like $40. I haven't even had food out here that's blown my mind. Sure, it's not bad, but when eating out can get this expensive, I expect something more to write home about. There are some really fancy restaurants around, but I shouldn't have to spend even more money to eat a meal that makes me go, wow, I will remember this. It's become a common pastime for some people to pull up Zillow and look at all the really crazy expensive multi-million-dollar mansions, fantasizing about what they would do if they were to live in the craziest of homes. But the equivalent of that for me and my friends here is to look at normal homes that are just not in California. Oh, look at that!
Yeah, like, this is the crazy part. What is it, like a two-bed home? A two-bed, one-bath home in LA is like $1 million. It's fucking insane. Like, a studio apartment in LA is probably, probably has a rent of like $2,000 a month. It's just, are you fucking kidding me? And it's like only recently they raised the minimum wage to like $20 an hour, which is still not enough to literally live in California. This is why everyone in California needs to have roommates, because no one can afford rent or a mortgage in California, and specifically LA. It's fucking crazy. Your average rent, even for a shit apartment in LA, is between $2,000 to $3,000 a month. No utilities included. The gas is expensive as fuck. The food is expensive as fuck. It's unsafe as hell. It's I honestly don't know why anyone would want to live in LA. I don't. Like, visiting, I'm okay with visiting LA. It is literally the definition of nice place to visit. And even now, it's like, that's a big question mark. But you definitely don't want to live there. Well, Dragon Tank, it's okay. Why don't people move out of California? I've talked about this before in a Caleb video. It's not that simple. It's not always that simple. If you are living somewhere, you can't, people decide, well, if you don't like it there, why not just move? Because very often you can't. People have jobs. They can't, if they move, they will no longer have that job, and the job markets in the United States are in shambles. And most people do not have a nest egg built up that would allow them to be out of work for 1 to 2 months while they pack up, find another place outside of LA or even California itself, move there, get everything all situated, and then try to look for another job. And the people that live in LA are very industry related. They're usually in the entertainment industry of some sort. Those jobs are still, for the time being, located primarily in California. But it's a finance issue. Most people do not have the money to be able to just decide, I want to move and pick up and fuck off to another city or even another state. They don't have the money. they're barely getting by as is, because not only do they have to maintain the rent of where they're staying, if they find a place somewhere else, then they have to pony up the money for that first month's rent, and that's gonna be another couple grand. Then they've got to pack up all their shit and get it moved, which now you got to pay for the moving expenses. Plus, you still have all the utilities at your existing apartment that you're still paying for the time that you're still living there. Then you've got to initiate utilities in the place you're moving to. Very often, that comes with connection fees. And then if you know, if where you move to, you still can't work because your job is located in this place, and where you're moving to, you don't have access to your job anymore. Now you've got to find another job, and you've got to, you're going to be spending probably at least several months just looking for a job because the job market is in the shitter right now. And are you picking up what I'm putting down here? It's nice to say, but it's not, but it's nowhere even remotely as simple as people make it out to be. For the average person, just picking up and moving, it's not possible. Financially speaking, it is simply not possible to do. As much as people would love to, they can't. It's something that's out of their reach. Unfortunately.
That one, 3-bed, 2-bath for like $2,500 a month. That's insane. Here, the same thing can go upwards of $7,000.
Yup. See?
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm very lucky and fortunate enough to not have to worry about finances as much. I can afford to live in a more expensive place here. It's not gonna break my bank. But at the same time, I'd like to still be relatively smart with money. Sure, I tend to splurge on plushies and trinkets. Haha, Jaiden's buying another Miku figure. But outside of that stuff, I'm really not spending money on anything else. I'm not into luxury cars or clothes or any of that type of culture. It's trinkets, plushes, and admittedly a little too much DoorDash. But I have a job that I can perform literally anywhere in the entire world. And I'm sitting here wasting extra costs on living in one of the most expensive cities in America. It feels bad. And I don't know if you picked up on it yet, but I don't even really like it here all that much. So why? Why do I choose to burn extra money just to exist in LA? The single reason is all of my friends are here, and I'd happily shovel extra funds into a giant furnace to be near them, because that's what makes a place feel like a true home. But
and you know what? That's a good reason. If her friends are important to her, then that's a good reason for her to be in LA. And you know what? I would wager it's the reason a lot of people continue to stay in LA. Not because of the weather, not because of their job, but because they have roots there, because they have connections there. And right now, in 2025, having friends, having family that are close to you, that you can see frequently on a regular basis, it can be worth it. Absolutely, it can be worth it. With the whole fucking world being on fire right now, having people close to you that you can count on, that you care about, and that care about you, that's plenty of a good reason for me.
But all of my friends are also content creators that can work anywhere too, and if we all just banded together and decided to move somewhere else, that would sure be swell. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of time, coordination, and resources to try and figure out an entirely new place to move a giant friend group of people, so we've essentially soft-locked ourselves here until we can all agree it's time to get out of here. I'll give LA some credit. The main thing that makes it great is the fact that everything is always happening here. There's always some sort of fun event going on. Concerts, tours, random pop-ups. I went to a live screening of the season 2 finale of Severance where the cast got to talk about it afterwards, and that was one of the coolest experiences of my life so far. You name it, it is happening in California. Truly, you will never be bored here if you're always looking for something to do, and I recognize that is incredibly valuable. But at the same time, it means there's always tourists visiting, and Los Angeles is a very disgusting city for tourists to visit.
Yes, it is.
It smells like pee all the time. The tourist trap areas are so trashy. There's constant crowds everywhere you go. When it rains, the pee smells even worse. Every once in a while, I need to go into the city for some reason or another, and those are bad days. Also, if you want to see all these...
Yeah, and leave us not forget the homeless. The homeless are fucking everywhere in LA. Yeah, with the Pope. Yeah, they're homeless people are literally fucking everywhere, and they will just shit on the sidewalk. They don't care. There's fucking like dirty needles everywhere. There's homeless encampments all over the fucking place. You literally cannot go 1 mile anywhere in LA without seeing probably about 30 homeless people or encampments, shit on the sidewalks, dirty needles scattered around everywhere. It's that. It has become an absolutely filthy fucking city. Absolutely filthy.
Cool things. You don't have to live in California to begin with. In fact, living here only desensitizes me to all the awesome stuff constantly around. Back when I first moved, I was really close to Disneyland, and for the entire 2 years I spent over there, I only went to the alleged happiest place on earth a single time because of a friend's birthday. That's more of a personal experience though. I know plenty of people who have yearly passes to Disney or Universal who go to them all the time. But for me, I always just think, I can go there anytime, so maybe later. And then later is multiple years. I consider it a privilege to be able to live in LA. It's expensive. A lot of people dream of coming here and making it big. And if you can afford it, you can definitely live luxuriously. But I am just really not built for all that. I grew up in a tiny desert town with like no people in it and prefer to be holed up in my house 90% of the time watching YouTube until my brain is mush. However, as much as I want to uproot everything again to live somewhere,
Meaty, Disneyland is fine. I went to Disneyland on my visit a couple years back. It was fine. It was kind of enjoyable. Had a decent time. Went to Universal. And Universal for me was just nothing special, honestly. Disney did have more going for it, and it was okay. But yeah, Disney World is better because Disney World is obviously bigger. Disney World has a lot more
else less expensive and more compatible with my preferred lifestyle. I do think LA is a good place for me to be right now. Both the YouTube and animation industry are here. I don't need to travel for most of the events I get invited to, and content creators are always visiting for something or another, so I get to meet a lot of fellow creator friends. I can't say anywhere else in the world can offer all these benefits that specifically apply to me right now. And it's also just a lot of fun. I might not...
Meaty, are you talking about Universal in California? Because when I went this past summer, Nintendo Land is available. It's open. I went to it. Like, in Universal California, Nintendo Land is open and functional. It's live right now.
Apply to me right now. And it's also just a lot of fun. I might not exactly like it, but LA is my home for at least the next few years, and I do get to have a lot of fun here with my friends. It's a toxic relationship, I suppose, but I'm sure in a decade when I'm somewhere else and reminiscing on the past, I'll have very fond memories of it all. So I can complain all I want while I'm here, but deep down, I know California has been such a huge part of the most defining years of my life, and I'll hold a very special place for it in my heart for a long time. LAX and the drivers are just excluded from it though. I'll hate those parts forever.
I posted a little video, but if you missed it, we're selling Tostada merch for the first time ever because everyone begged and pleaded for it. Please go check it all out. I think everything turned out so silly and good, and she's only available until September 7th. And here's a picture of her for the people who stayed till the end of the video. Okay, bye-bye.
Aw. Yeah, LA is a city of all time. That's for sure. It's more of, yeah.